I am the host, Richard Ravenbrook, a man, a life coach, and a spiritual mentor who has endeavored to find real spiritual truth and self-enlightenment. With experiences in various ministry types, pagan traditions, and even magical paths. With a love for Mother Earth and the balance of life, I work to channel spirit and to help educate and mentor those striving to deconstruct from mainstream religion and to empower them to find the divinity within themselves and to the truth around them. The messages are focused on everyday life, creating an environment of real coexistence, a world of mutual respect, love, and dignity. The pagan preacher is all things, the preacher and the pagan, speaking from the wisdom of spirit. Welcome everyone, marry me, namaste. Let us begin. Let us breathe in the positive. Let us breathe in that which we want to receive. Truth, positive energy. And let us breathe it back out. Let us push out that negative. Let us push out all those things that have come to burden us this week. Let us just focus on what Spirit has to offer us today. And what Spirit wants to speak about today, wants to speak to your heart about, is about free will, free choice, free expression in this world. So many different religions, so many different denominations and sections, so many different thoughts and theologies and practices, most screaming that they are the one, they are the truth. But by its very nature of division and so many, we simply understand that we all can't be right. That some of us have got to be wrong. That we have to understand that this life is about the experience. We understand that this life is about understanding, seeking, finding, exploring, and experiencing. You know why we have so many different so-called truths out there? So many different thoughts and ideas of what truth is, where we come from, what is right and wrong. Because as I've said in other podcasts and other sermons, we have begun to develop things in the flesh rather than spirit. Free will is choice. And in this world, we find ourselves having a very difficult time with choice because of so many different thoughts and practices. You may have grown up in a family that demanded that you walk a certain line according to their practice and their belief. But your entire childhood was absent of choice. Even as we grow older, that choice is hindered because family, neighbors, work associates that may have known you from the past don't want you to change, don't want you to explore other things, but they want you to be constant in whatever you were taught as a child, whether it be right or whether it be wrong. Free choice, free expression is hindered every day in our country. We cry that we have religious freedom, but do we? Do we really have religious freedom? Or is it only for those large corporate religions that have all the funding? Free choice. Can you walk down the street being whatever you are and do it proudly? Could you go to work and tell everybody that you were something that they would find dramatic, extra, just really out there? You know what I'm saying? But you know, I think we all know that we try to fit in that box, don't we? We try to fit in the box of normal. We try to fit in that box that says that I belong. I belong with society. I can conform with society, and whatever society believes, okay, that's what I'll believe too. Even on the inside, there's a fire burning. Spirit speaking to us, telling us that that's not the truth, man. What are you doing? Sister, what are you doing? Why do you act like that's what you believe? And why do you act like that's who you are when it's not? And that is prison. That is a mental prison that we put ourselves into all the time to appease those around us that would disown us or push us to the side. We're exercising that free choice and free expression. We speak about it every day, that we live in a country that allows things of freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. But then every day we see the very opposite of that. What we see is indoctrination of religions that are meant to control. And those thoughts and theologies and practices that are pointed to self-enlightenment, self-discovery, finding who it is that you are and to the truth of this universe and to the Creator. Those are hindered, persecuted, slandered. We see it every day. You know, we can drive down the road, walk down the road, and probably every 10 minutes we'll see a religious emblem of some major corporate religion. But will you see any of the smaller? Some of you out there are Wiccan. How many pentacles or pentagrams do you see on the side of the road on billboards? How many of the Buddhists see any of your religious symbols? Muslim, where do you see the representation of Allah? Whatever religion that you are, do you see it, or are you hindered? Now, I understand that no matter what religion that you are, you have the right to practice it in your home. You have the right to be the person that you are in your home. But we see every day that the major corporate religions have a freedom that we don't have. Unless you walk the line and fit into that society of what they call normal, unless you release your right to free choice, then you no longer belong, and you do not have the same rights as everyone else. But if you conform and you say that you are one of them, then you can walk with them. But where is that free choice? You know, I've said in other podcasts and other sermons that being who we are is the hardest thing that we do in this life. Because sometimes being who we are is, how do I want to say this? It's being who we are sometimes can be, we have to be the black sheep. We have to be the contradiction. We have to be that which everyone else disagrees with. We have to lose friends. We have to lose family. Those things that many of the masters of enlightenment, masters of spirituality taught, gurus of the past that have taught, that if you walk this narrow way, they will persecute you. The narrow way isn't the way that millions follow. It isn't the way that is worth billions a year. It is the way that people persecute you for walking, to even believing in. They call you evil. They'll call you of the devil. They'll call you every name in the book they can find to persecute you, because they know deep within their heart that you know something, that you have something that they don't have, and they want it, but they can't have it because they refuse to let go of what they saw as true, what they believed. Free will. It's a word that goes deep. Are we exercising our right to free will? If we simply follow in the footsteps of our parents, if we simply follow in the people that we respect, and don't honestly explore that which is within us, those callings that are within us, if we don't explore those and actively dive into the exploration of what is calling to us, then are we truly being who we are? Are we really free? Is it really our choice? Or are we simply walking in someone else's life, basically giving them our life, taking our experience, taking our emotion, taking everything that should be us, and simply using it to benefit others that don't even know you? And I hope that makes sense. Free choice, free expression is what this life is about. It's not simply about a country's rights, but free expression and about being who you are. It is about being able to experience this life in its fullness. If you are hindered, if you are afraid, you know, even Scripture talks about 365 times in just the 66 books that are in that book. Fear not. You know, it tells you. And in other religions, it may be worded different, but they all say the same thing. Don't be afraid to seek. Don't be afraid to take that risk. Don't be afraid to explore. Don't be afraid to say, no, that's not for me. I haven't found what it is for me yet, but I'm looking, I'm exploring. I'm trying to hear Spirit and what Spirit has for me. I'm trying to find me. I might find it in that church. I might find it in that temple. I might find it with my brother Wiccans, my sisters. I may find it with the Buddhists. I may find it in many places. But ultimately, we have to find our strength in free choice. Our strength in saying, this is my life. This is my choice. It's my choice to believe and walk a particular theology or not to walk one at all. It's my choice to what I believe. And I shouldn't be persecuted for that. No one should be persecuted for what they believe or what they don't believe. Religion should never be pushed and forced within the public's eye, because that is indoctrination. You can say, well, it's my right to say this and it's my right to do that. But I will say this, that your right does not give you the right to persecute others or to make them feel persecuted, to make them feel suppressed, to make them feel lesser. If you're out there and you're a street preacher, and you're out there, you're preaching the damnation and hell, eternal torture, and you're telling people that there's only one way to find salvation and enlightenment and to find the truth, then that is persecution. Because people that have free choice, free will, can walk into a church, can walk into a building any time Spirit leads them to do so. But if you feel that you have to go out, I'm going to give an example. You know, we do many different festivals. We attend many different pagan-type festivals. And you know, it seems like every time there are these kind of festivals and people are trying to live their life and to be who it is that they are, they're not hurting anybody, they're not doing anything wrong, but yet they will be stormed by religious extremists telling everyone how bad they are and how wrong they are, scaring children half out of their mind, asking questions about what's hell and why does people that say God loves me, but God is going to torture me for eternity if I don't do everything that He says. But yet there's free choice, free will. There's so much mix-up, there's so much confusion in these religions because of misinterpretations, the will to control. Those people that only attended the 66 books of the Bible, that's only about 5% of the truth that's out there. And even that 5% has been misinterpreted and it's just the words, because you know, you get up here and you want to speak, but you don't want to offend people and you don't want to hurt people, but at the same time you want to teach the truth and you want to offer truth. But you know, even myself, people know I was a minister for years within the Christian church, and Spirit kept speaking to me over and over and over, saying that, you know, there's something not right here. There's something more. There's something lacking here. It's just not right. And then I begin to explore other things. I begin to dive into other thoughts, other practices, you know, not just jumping in, but researching, seeking. And you begin to find the similarities in all these different thoughts, religions. And Spirit begins to enlighten you and to show you things that you've never seen before. Because it's inwardly, not just outwardly flesh trying to learn, but it's a spiritual thing. But that 5%, we cannot learn on that 5%. And since the rest of it is misinterpreted, we might have 2% that's actually real truth. And we've got people out there that are trying to take that 2% and they're destroying lives with it. Trying to remove free speech and free expression and free will. Telling people you have to do this or you're gonna pay. And spirit is about liberty. Spirit is about choice. Spirit is about being who it is that you are and having the courage to walk in it, to teach it, to share it, and to live it out there in the public without persecution, just like everybody else. That if you want to have a building and you want to teach a spirituality that is not part of the normal corporate religions, and you want to stick a great big pentacle in a window that everybody can see, then you have the right to do so. But I know even as I speak this, we all know that how much negative would come against that. How much would come against that desire to put that there. But at the same time, a church can build anything that it wants, and nobody will blink an eye, because that is considered the norm, the normal. To be an American, to be normal, is to be Christian. The normal Christian, the one that goes to church on Sundays and maybe Wednesday, the one that believes only in the 66 books of the King James Bible, even though we know that those 66 books were put there on purpose, specifically picked out on purpose by the council to try to build and organize a religion that they could control. But the truth, even though there is truth within it, it does not point to the truth. And I say this because free will, free choice, that all has to do with understanding truth. Because you can't be who it is that you are. You can't walk this earth and be the person that you are on the inside unless you have the opportunity to know who you are and to know your potential, to know everything that you can be on this earth. This world may have beaten you down, but I ask this, has it beaten you down because you walked many paths, because people told you it was the right thing to do, but it wasn't the right thing for you, and it failed because it wasn't for you. It didn't work out because it wasn't your journey. It wasn't your path. Happiness comes from contentment, and contentment comes from being satisfied on our journey. But we can only achieve that if we're doing what we're supposed to do. And we only can acknowledge that. We can only understand what that is from within us. That's why that quiet time is so important for every individual. To shout out, to close out all the shouts of indoctrination and those out there that believe that they have to play the role of the gods and have to teach these things in a forceful way rather than just trying to guide people not into a specific practice, but to guide people to spirit, that always leads to truth. Spirit within will teach you all things. I don't have to teach you everything about this world and about the universe and about creation, because if I can teach you how to find spirit, to find yourself, to find your free will, then you find contentment, you find satisfaction, and you find happiness. But it takes a lot of courage. A lot of courage. Free will and free choice and free expression go hand in hand with courage, bravery, valor, because it takes a strong individual. It takes a hide of a mongoose, because there's many snakes out there that will try to attack you over and over. And these snakes will portray themselves as good, holy, and they're anything but that. The best disguise for evil is good. So be very careful when you begin to dive into things. You will make mistakes. But what I can tell you is you have to feel. And you have to be open to that feeling and to understand that what you're feeling is real. When you get that notion, that stirring that's within you, and you're someplace that you know you shouldn't be, listen to it. Or if you feel this hunger that's within you that's telling you you need to go to a certain place, maybe you need to talk to a certain person, then do it. It takes courage to be that person. Free choice? Not really free, because it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you friends. It may even cost you family. But in turn, what it rewards you with is so hard to explain through fleshly words. Because when the truth opens up and you see things for what they truly are, you no longer worry anymore. You no longer fret the things of everyday life, because you know just how small and insignificant they are compared to the wider picture of things. The grand picture is so much bigger than everything that you see around you today. The problems that you had, the concerns you woke up with this morning. Truth truly does set you free, because it shows you just how much control you have over your life. It shows you the power that's within you to change your life. And it's not about following regulations and rules. It's not about following a specific book or a label, description, or a community. It's about learning self, learning you, and having the courage to walk in what you truly are. What is your free will today? What is it that you want out of life? What is it that you're missing in life? You know, we can't change the past, but we have all the control over the future. And it's all about choice. Are you willing to do what it takes to make that happen? That's choice. Are you willing to step out and say, no, this is what is calling to me, so it has to be right? Because I can guarantee you, if it's calling you, it is right. Just take some time. And as we breathe through the rest of this short podcast, this sermon, this broadcast. Remember, free will, free choice should be everybody's right. Everyone has the right to be who they are, to express who they are. Maybe we should begin to protest, debate, so many different words about, opening the doors for those out there that have been hindered and limited within their religious scope of things. Maybe we should test the theory about the pentacle. Just let these thoughts kind of flow through you. See what Spirit has to say. Maybe Spirit has another way. Maybe Spirit tells you, no, that's not the way for that, but this is the way. Then follow that. But listen to Spirit. You'll begin to know when it's fleshly emotions talking and when it's Spirit is talking. Discern every thought, every feeling, every voice. Discern it. Feel it. And you will grow. And you will find yourself on a journey that is the most magical, most wonderful experience that you can ever have. And this is just the beginning. Thank you for everybody. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Please subscribe. Please tell your family and friends. Be blessed, everybody, and blessed be. Thank you, everyone. This is Richard Ravenbrook. From my heart to yours, I hope you are blessed. Please be a blessing. Share these podcasts. Share my short videos. Tell the world the work that's being done. Help me open the minds of those so closed. Help me bring into the fold those seeking truth and enlightenment. Be blessed.